Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the NDA Podcast. I'm Rob Duenas, aka Sketchcraft. Sunday night, aren't you drawing? Aren't you up drawing like me? This is the podcast where I work on things I can't stream. But behind me, I'm going to stream some art that I did previously while I work on the new stuff, which I will eventually stream. So, you know, past meets the future meets the past. Also joining me tonight to hang out is Brandon the Mighty James. Hey, what's up, Brandon?
Hey, how's it going?
There you are, Brandon. Hey, Brandon, you know what I'm gonna be working on tonight? You know what I'm gonna show behind me tonight? Do you know what it is?
No, because I never watch your actual Twitch.
I know you never actually watched the Twitch. Well, it's gonna be Harley Quinn Chonk, Harley Quinn digital Chonk that I did. Some people call them chibis, I call them chonks because I brand everything. Let's bring up Little Rob. Little Rob. There he is. Take that one off and let's go ahead and start the video. There we go. There it is. This was a little, I don't know what this was. Like, I just did this for fun. Yeah, I did this for fun a year or two ago. So, yeah, I was trying to work out, I think, some of my digital drawing brushes. I got pretty close to what I'm doing now. It's not exactly there, but it still came out looking good at the end of the day. So I did a digital version and I did a color pencil version. I did the digital version first so I could use it as a guide when I did my color pencil. Surprisingly, my color pencils came out even better. So something to think about in the future about maybe actually rendering the thing before I start. But I think the average person couldn't tell anyway, you know? But I thought the final one came out good. Either way, it's a fun piece. Just like a little chibi, basically. Harley Quinn. Brandon! What are you doing tonight?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're very animated. You're very with it.
I'm always with it. Right now, I'm actually so I had to drop off some art. Somebody bought an Archangel piece for me, and I was at the comic book shop, and I bought an issue of, 1 second, Rob. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that. I'm out in the garage, so that's where the laundry room happens to also be. I bought the issue of X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, where Cable and Cyclops are together and the Executioner goes up, because, you know, he's in the X-Men 97 cartoon. So I went and bought the comic because it's only like $4 because I wanted to actually see it in the comic book. So I was just looking through that, and then I'm probably going to sketch some Cyclops for a commission. So 2 birds, 1 stone.
What I love about Brandon's new setup is it sounds like he's calling in on AM radio. It's a fantastic filter. I love it. Duke the Legend says hello from YouTube. How you doing, Duke? How you doing? Thanks for hanging out tonight. So I'm just gonna let this play in the background. If you guys want to talk about art, if you want to talk about the piece, if you want to talk about anything at all, you just bring it up. I'm gonna shoot the shit with Brandon while I work on Spawn Kills Every Spawn. I'm on page 20, the last page of issue 4, ready to go on to issue 5 and wrap this all up. Of course, it will all be done by the time it ships this summer with issue 1, Spawn Kills Every Spawn from Todd McFarlane, and yours truly, and written by John Layman, and colored by Robert Nugent, edited by Thomas Healy, and lettered by John Layman.
Keep going.
Yeah, that's it. I'm drawing and inking the whole thing, so whatever. All right, get to work.
So, any particular reason you came up with Chonky? Is it just because it sounds like chunky?
Chonk, not chonky.
Chonk, okay.
Yeah. Because the guys, like, I make them more buffer. Like, generally the chibis, they all look like babies. And so, like, I was trying to not make them look like babies. I was trying to, like, give them, like, especially, like, when I did, like, the Batmans and the Banes and stuff. Like, they all, like, they're just chonky. They're just, like, you know, little, I was supposed to say it. I don't necessarily think that means big head because, like, when I did the Asbats, didn't have a big head. You know?
Right. Yeah, right now my setup is not the most ideal, but we work with what I got. So right now I'm working out of the garage at my dad's house.
Brandon's doing the best Brandon can.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. That's what I say to myself in the mirror. You're doing the best you can, buddy. Now wipe those tears and go to work.
I need to make certain I'm actually recording my screen with the other OBS. I got two OBSs running, folks. Streaming from one OBS and recording my spawn work on another OBS for future streams. Future streams.
And then someday we'll be talking and that'll be playing in the background.
That's right. That's how it works. That's how it works.
You can talk all about it.
Like anyone cares, but you know.
I care.
Dude, Paul came on the other night and he goes, "What's with the music?" I'm like, "I don't know what you want me to do, man. You got a license? You know, you wanna hook Rob up with the Sony Music license or something? Like, you know, sounds as good as anything else. You know what I mean? That's playing on free to play, right, Brandon? Like, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying you're gonna put this on at the gym, but I mean, go listen to Twitch streams. They're all playing."
Right.
I jumped in on Ashley's stream last night. She was playing like French, like electronic bistro music, whatever you want to call it. And I was like, well, I mean, what's the difference, you know?
Right. It's all lo-fi type stuff anyway.
This at least has a little bit of a movement to it. Brandon can't hear it, so he doesn't know what he's talking about because he only has one computer now. It's his phone, or it's his iPad. Sorry, his iPad.
Right. Living off the grid right now. I'm actually out in the forest.
I believe it. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Right. I'm using the Wi-Fi from the gas station.
Aren't you jacked up with 5G now that you're all vaccinated? I mean, did they drop that one? Remember when that was a thing?
Yeah.
Morons. I am currently drawing a shitload of buildings. It's funny, I'm looking at this early. When I did this, I was just coming off my Blizzard work, and I was just like, everything I drew was just so difficult to do for me. You know? It's not in a good headspace. And like, I'm looking at what I'm doing now, and I'm like, oh, shit's easy. Like, Brandon, you saw a little bit of what I'm doing last night. What did you think?
That shit's crazy, and if I could just have like 1/10 of that skill and talent, that'd be great.
Well, you could if you'd listen to me when I give you art advice, but you know,
did you say something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. That's the problem.
Speaking of talent, Joe Mad. He's too talented. I picked up a old issue of Uncanny X-Men 326, where on the cover Gambit is choking out Sabretooth with his bow staff, and just looking through here at Joe Mad's art, and I'm just like, ugh.
Man, he was like 22 when he did that.
22, yeah, I was gonna say he's probably 22 here. Ugh.
Maybe younger. Yeah.
So good. Then he would go on to make be part of one of the best X-Men storylines. I always liked the way he drew Gambit.
I thought his Spider-Man was really underrated, actually. I always wish he had back in the day, he'd had a run on that.
Yeah. His Ultimates would have been good if he had like Ken Townsend in it or something.
No, look, it looked great, but the book printed dark. They did a reprint that prints it correctly. Black got mixed into it. Yeah. There's like, it's not that dark, right? And that's a mistake in the printing. So there is a reprint because I own it, and it's like, oh look, they actually freaking did it right this time, you know. So I actually have the high-res files from that because when I was working on Marvel tees, I just kept the art. So I was like, no, it looks really good. I mean, it's painted, you know what I mean? Has that painted look, but it doesn't look bad. It looks dope, dude. It's just,
okay.
You know.
Well, I stand corrected then, I guess.
My problem with the Ultimates really just comes down to the fact that the story's just weird. It just feels like there's like a whole issue missing sometimes. You know what I mean? You're like, did I missing something? Like I remember flipping the pages back and forth sometimes. Like, am I missing something? You know? I don't like to talk too much trash, but I'm like, I was legitimately confused. You know, like.
Yeah.
I think Jeff Loeb's done some fun stuff, you know, so I'm not like an anti-Jeff Loeb guy. But
I like the first season of Heroes.
Everyone likes the first season of Heroes. Because that's the only season of Heroes there is, right?
Yeah, that's the only one.
Only season of Heroes there is.
There was, I believe, 4. There was Heroes Reborn, or what? Not Heroes Reborn, but there was like, they tried bringing it back, like, I don't know, 8 years ago, I think, and it just with like a kid, and they tried bringing back some of the original cast, and it just
was not 8 years ago.
How long ago was that?
Much sooner than 8 years ago.
5?
Something.
It was right before the pandemic.
Yeah. It was not 8 years ago since the pandemic. Let's not do that to Rob right now, right? Because Brandon had a terrible year, we all have to like have a terrible.
Yeah. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Oh, man. As soon as I finish this page and I'm all done with this issue, I'm gonna go see Monkey Man. I was gonna go see it, then I'm like, no, I will reward myself when I'm done with the issue.
Comes out the 11th?
It's already out. Out right now.
It's already out?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Huh.
Go see it.
Maybe I'll go see it Tuesday night.
Yeah, go see it Tuesday night.
I would definitely like to support it.
Some of these panels, Brandon, I try to get like the lines done in one shot, but not this page. I can already feel like, nope, I'm gonna have to do this twice. So, especially with complex backgrounds, I don't enjoy that, but some nights my brain is there for that, and some nights it is not. That's the way it goes. Mandika says Monkey Man isn't in his theater apparently. Oh, that sucks.
That's stupid.
Bullshit.
I wonder how many people are going to have that problem. It's not in their theater.
Oh, it's playing at my favorite theater. I'm gonna drive out there, and then on my way back I'll get a boba.
Wow, you're really gonna spoil yourself after this.
Yeah. Yeah. Completion of the 4th issue, man. Look, I should already be done. It was only supposed to be 3 issues, but here we are. Brandon, is the artwork getting worse 4 issues in?
No, not even.
You've been there, right? Where you bought a comic and you're like, it's getting worse as the issues go along?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Or they just have like a fill-in artist who isn't a bad artist. It just doesn't go with the vibe of everything was going. And then you're like, oh, come on.
It's like,
let me know if
it's kind of deceptive because I think the comic comes across as being kind of like a little small, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That ramped up quickly. It's fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Fun. Yeah. Manika says he did go see Godzilla X Con yesterday. Oh, I hope he had a good time.
How was it?
Let's see. This is. Am I still using? I want to see this. Am I? Yeah, it's not a circle brush. That's a. I think that's my pencil brush I'm using. Like I had this pencil brush I used on Berserk Boy. Like you can see the very first promo thing I did. It was the one where like I have the eagle in the middle, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one I'm using. I don't use any of these same brushes anymore. Mandika says, it felt like watching a Saturday morning cartoon. Hey.
Oh, nice.
Good shapes, though. I like the way that... I always like the way the on the cork, there's that little, like, ring. There's a big ring and a little ring. I like the big ring. I'm a shape guy, so if I have to... Oh, that's a good shape, Rob. Give myself a little credit.
A little pat on the back.
A little pat on the back.
I know you like shapes. That's why you're friends with me. Because I'm full of shapes. I'm just a big lava lamp of a human. I think that's how I'm going to start describing myself to people. I'm just like a lava lamp. You know, I'm a lot of shapes, but I'm pretty to look at. You like that? I like that.
I don't care one way or the other. I'm not even gonna remember you said that like an hour from now. Like, that's how it's gonna go. I mean, well, we be honest.
If any consolation, you made me smile.
Good. That's what I do.
Isn't that what he says in Tombstone? He's like, if it's any consolation, you put a smile on my face. No, that's the Crow. Shit.
It's not Tombstone.
My thing. How did I not forget my favorite movie right there? That's why it's in my brain. If it's any consolation, friend, you put a smile on my face. That's what it is. Okay.
And Nika says the sequences with Kong are easily the most entertaining part of the movie. Well, it does prove one thing. This whole, like... Because, like, I mean, if you watch, like, Harloff or if you watch Campy or any of these guys, you know, during the Oscars, they're like, you know what this proves? This proves that audiences don't want the old stuff. They want new stuff. They're tired of the same old franchises. I'm like, no, that ain't it. And they were like, they're tired of big CGI fests that, you know, they want real story. I'm like, no, that ain't it.
Yeah.
No, that ain't it. You know, keep trying to like justify whatever narratives in your head. You can figure out what audiences want, man. It's word of mouth. I've been saying this for 2 years now. It's word of mouth. Whatever can get the word of mouth, good or bad, people will go see it. If you create something that just requires no discussion, that you're like, then no word of mouth. That's it. That's it. Yeah. And I've been saying this on the Star Wars podcast for 2 years. They all argue with me, and I'm like, no, I'm just telling you guys. That's what it is. Word of mouth.
Oh yeah, like it's not comic book related, but that Tyson versus the Paul brothers fight, I had no clue or care about it, but everybody at work's been talking about it. Now I'm like, caught myself yesterday, like, hey, you gonna watch that fight between the two brothers and Tyson? I'm like, what? You know, I had no interest because I'm not into any of that, but I'm like, shit, and everybody's talking about it. You know, same with like anything with word of mouth. You know, I don't watch college women's basketball, but everyone talking about the Caitlin Clark and everything, and I was like, oh shit, I'll watch this, and it was entertaining.
Yeah, people are just being really social with one another on what they should see. And so, you know, if it's a giant shit show, if it's brilliant, if it's just dumb fun, if it's worth seeing, you know, they don't care about the ratings. They don't care about potential Oscars. They don't care if there's CG. They don't care if there's volume. They don't care if there's an actor in it. There's no actors in it. It just needs to create some kind of spark for conversation. That's it.
Yeah. I don't want to watch the Kong vs. Godzilla movie, but I'm sure for some people, like big monsters slapping each other around, dope. And I'm not hating on it. You
and
know,
there have been like 7 of these
buddy,
freaking movies in the last 4 years. So,
yeah.
You know.
I mean, me and you both have friends that like big kaiju even if they're crappy fight movies, you know, they're just like, oh man, yeah, you go moth monster versus tentacle monster fighting each other and blah blah blah. I love that shit. All right.
But tepid, you know, whatever you call it, things that are just like, and that's it. They're not going to talk about it. JD Art says, hey Rob, I'm glad I was able to show the Power Ranger actors my art. Yeah, dude, JD Art was out repping my art to the Power Ranger actors. Got Walter Taylor. Yeah, he got the Blue Ranger, I think. Yeah, he's out showing. That's super wild. Super appreciate that. Also, I'm actually just adding the ink brushes right onto the pencil brush. I don't work like this anymore. It's fun.
That's what the kids would say, my old shit. That's your old shit, Rob.
Yeah. He also got their signatures in his schedule. Billy Anzac. Yeah. Oh, Billy had to appreciate the giant axe, right? I told you the Blue Ranger, that guy, he had liked my thing before.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. What else? Okay, it was fun. It was super fun. Yeah. Oh, I can say it now, guys. The White Ranger will appear in Imagine FX issue 240. Brandon, are you happy? You're proud of me?
Hell yeah.
I got that confirmation today. Huh?
Why am I just now hearing about it? What the fuck, Rob?
I know. Well, because you're never on the streams. And I don't tell you any of this stuff. Yeah, on the phone. I just wait till we get the first. What do you think, Brandon? Huh? Not bad, huh?
That's pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
And I'm not jealous with envy at all.
Yeah. Well, you know, I did make Artist of the Month on Imagine Effects back in 2012, and that went horribly wrong. So I'm hoping this time it goes better, you know?
Brandon remembers.
Yeah.
I've been there for all of it.
To be fair, I feel I'm a much better artist now than I was then, so I think I can navigate whatever waters they want to venture across.
Right.
But they seemed all right, you know. They're just a little like quiet until they need something. But you know, whatever. That's fine. But yes, issue 240 coming out in just a couple months. So I'll have to grab a copy. I'm certain they won't send me one. So, you know, look, if they send me one, I will definitely take that one back. We'll see.
Did their editor just reach out to you and like the piece, or how did that?
Yeah.
Are you able to talk about that? How that?
Yeah, they just hit me up.
Say,
hey, we like this one from the magazine. We're gonna write a bunch of words and send us a picture. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, here you go.
Nice.
It wasn't a huge article. It's just
your Instagram or
the website. They just emailed me.
Nice.
I filled out the form on the website.
There you go.
Look, what I'm glad about it is I've been saying it for a long time. I just think Power Rangers, because of the control that they have over it, it just hasn't boring. Okay. I think it's a cool property. I think there's tons of room. I also know that if you did that, my version as a cartoon, half the internet, those dudes would rage. You know what I mean? They would go, "Oh, you're making fun of it," you know.
The rise of TMNT.
Well, I'm talking about like the Thundercats Roar people. You know what I mean? Because I do think if it were me, I would have that stylistic version, and I would have real like smaller, deformed, even crazier versions, and especially with the villains. I'd have the villains go from Thundercats,
like an Invader Zim.
Yeah, I'd jump back and forth. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I jump back and forth between like Invader Zim and Studio Trigger kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Right, based off the part of the story. Or
whatever fight scenes. You know, if they need to be funnier, because one of my favorite animes was something called Dragon Half, Brandon. You know, it was based off a manga. They only did like 2 episodes or 1 VHS tape. You know, back in the day, VHS. But it would jump between like sort of semi-serious. When I say serious, I mean like Ranma half kind of, you know what I mean? Designs or Toriyama style designs ish, and then it would jump to super chibi back and forth, but it would work. Like during fights would be super awesome, and then they go super dumb when they needed to, right? But and some of the Power Ranger shit should be funny and dumb when you got those stupid like villains, you know? Like a giant lipstick, you know, like, are we really taking it that serious? Like but I know if I drew that as, you know, a Ren and Stimpy looking like villain and then jump to something like a Joe Mad thing, I don't think they would get it, you know?
Right.
But there's room for like, you know, it's got a lot of room for creative input, you know? So I'm glad that that's getting, I mean, I didn't do much with that other than some of the body shapes, and I added whiskers, but I mean, like, that's how like bereft of like innovation most fan art for that stuff is, you know?
Right. Yeah, there's not much for it other than that.
Yeah. So like, here's my fully realistic painted, you know, like who cares, man? Like, who hasn't already seen that a million fucking times, you know?
Right.
Sorry, I'm not impressed, you know? But whatever. So I'm glad that it's getting printed, you know? Let's see if anything comes of that. Yeah, my current way of drawing is way easier than this was. But, you know, to get to where I'm at here, you gotta go through this. So,
yeah.
That's basically how it works.
What was the name of that French video game magazine? Was it just like games?
The Game.
Was it like
The Game.
The Game? Yeah.
The Game, yeah. Yeah, they went out of business before COVID.
Oh,
Sad to say. Yeah, they were a good magazine, actually.
Yeah.
They were really well
put together. Was it the Grand Theft Auto you did the cover for?
I did the Grand Theft Auto, and I did the Dragon Ball Z tribute.
Nice.
Yeah, both of those. And they paid for her, you know. They paid well. I mean, that's probably why they went out of business. They're like, we're paying too well.
Yeah, we're actually giving artists what they deserve.
They were great. Yeah, I love the French. They get art. They get art. Lots of respect for them.
Do you have a favorite magazine cover you ever did?
Magazine cover I ever did?
Yeah.
I don't know about favorite, but I do. There was one I was supposed to do that was supposed to be the cover to the 100th issue of Play that didn't happen because they went out of business. And it bums me that it wasn't the 100th issue because I thought it was pretty good. Even though I kind of don't like the way I drew one girl's hand. I get over it, you know. But that's the No More Heroes 2 piece I did. You remember that one, Brandon?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say that one. That's the one. Is that the one where you did the lace on her legs, her stocking legs?
Yeah.
And I couldn't get my mind around how you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even apparently Grasshopper was super impressed with that cover.
Yeah, that one was like, you did some stuff on that one with, I was just like, wow. All right.
That was supposed to be to Play issue 100, which I was like, finally, I can be proud of my art. And it's canceled. Like, never mind. I tried to get Dave to do it as the cover to issue one for Game Fan, but he was like, well, the game's already out. But I'm like, but we covered the game, and we have an interview. We have the interview from that and the game review for that, but it's not on the cover. Because you have to have a new game on the cover. I'm like, no, we don't. We put this on the cover. No, it didn't get a cover anywhere. And so instead, he did Blade Kitten with the dumbest fucking art I've ever seen on a game magazine. Sorry to Blade Kitten guy, but it was not better than what I did. It was bullshit.
I mean, there's one I want to talk about, but I don't know if you want to talk about it.
What do you want to talk about?
You want to take a guess?
I have no idea, Brandon.
I'll give you a hint. 100.
100?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What?
Roll.
Huh?
Play. Didn't you do like...
Game
Wasn't
Informer?
it for Game Informer, the 100?
Oh. Yeah, but I only managed to get 72 games on that cover.
That's insane.
Well, I mean, I did it by cheating, by putting some of the book and games and stuff on the cover. You know what I mean? Like, I put the actual games on there, like the box.
Didn't you only have like 9 days to do that too?
Yeah, I drew all of it and colored all of it in 9 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and they gave
good.
me a rule too. Like they said, hey, don't tell anyone you're doing a cover for the magazine. I'm like, okay. So, but at the time I was like, I don't know, for some reason the way it was worded, I thought they meant just don't tell anyone this is for the magazine, right?
Yeah.
And so I was taking photos of what I was working on, right, while I was drawing it, and I had no word back. So I was like, all right, no big deal, dude. And then the day they launched it, I guess they went to go put like my socials, you know, I mean, my you know, all my Instagram, and they saw those photos on there on my Instagram. And the owner, the editor, Annie McNamara, he doesn't work there anymore, so I'll throw him under the bus. You know, he texts me, I told you not to share this with anyone. I'm like, I thought you said don't tell anyone you don't want me to share it. He was like, yeah. I'm like, then why didn't you have me sign an NDA? I didn't think it was that big a deal. You know what I mean? I thought you just didn't want anyone to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, but it's already out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So their retaliation for me apparently breaking the rules was they didn't credit me on the art when they shared it.
Yeah, that's fake.
Yeah. People in the comments were like, I think this is Sketchcrafts, and you know, but I got no credit in the post. So they're like, we're just not going to amplify your sites. I was like, all right, man. Look, I mean, if it meant that much, you just have me sign an NDA. I mean, that's why I have an NDA stream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't tell anyone I was working on Spyro or Crash when I was working on it because they had me sign an NDA.
Yeah.
It was worded in a way where I thought they meant don't tell anyone what this is for. Because
you should probably have, next time you sign
whatever.
an NDA, you should probably have me sign it too, because there's been times where I've almost blown the cover.
Hey, Paul's in the house. What's up, Paul? I put on the music just for you, bud.
Paul's in the house.
Yeah. Paul's great, man. He's always like, hey, man, I want to do a podcast 6 months from now. You available? I'm like, sure, Paul. Like, I'll see you in June.
Yeah.
This is my Sega Dreamcast music here, buddy. All right, my Daytona. You know, my Daytona music. This is my the kind of music that used to play like, you know, like Daytona.
That's enough. No more. Don't need you getting in trouble.
Yeah, it's in May, but you told me like months ago. You know what I'm saying, Paul. You know what I'm saying. He's all trying to be specific now. No, it's actually only 4 months. It wasn't 6 months. Like, I know. It's hilarious.
Don't worry, Rob will forget.
I always make my... No, I never forget. Brandon's the one who goes, yeah, I'm going to join on Fortnite, and then never shows up.
You don't text me.
Yes, I have to remind you every 3 seconds where I'm not actually on. Right?
That's really how it is.
Yeah. Well, I didn't need you there. I had Fortnite friends, you know, that can play better than you, so that was good.
Well, that hurts.
Well, then you should show up.
I was probably working.
No, you weren't. You were just sleeping.
Oh.
How it goes. How it goes. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a more regular bit out of the book stuff, Brandon. So when are you free and available to do stuff now, Brandon? And I got witnesses here, so go ahead, tell me.
Tuesday nights.
Tuesday nights you can do stuff. Yeah. We gotta get you a better mic, Brandon. We gotta get you a better mic. This isn't gonna sound good. All right. It'd be fine if my mic was messed up. Here on the NDA podcast, I do not care. But you know, we gotta get you sounding a little bit better, Brandon.
Fine.
Paul asks, "Who is this Brandon? This Mega Potato? Now he's the Mighty James."
Yes.
He's the one. He's that drawing of the potato I have on the channel. That's him.
Yeah. I'm Rob's sometimes friend when other friends aren't available. Like his BFF, Shelby Robertson.
Shelby doesn't draw on anything less than a 9.8. Anything less than a 9.8. Robertson.
I don't race unless it's for pinks.
It's true, though.
That's all I heard.
Brandon used to be a bigger part of the channel until he had to go on like adult.
And divorce.
That's the adulting part, Brandon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of.
It was a lot easier when I had I guess a normal home life. I don't know. With like really high speed internet, my computer desk, my art desk. Now it's just me, the bucket I use to shower and use the bathroom in, and the Circle K gas station Wi-Fi. Living it up, boys.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Paul says he's still bummed that the Star Wars manga show we didn't stay on. I'm gonna try and re-upload that in another sometime this week. Actually, I told you I'm gonna give it a couple months and I'm gonna give it another go. I just think sometimes it was just that Ahsoka show was out at the time, and I think they were just being hyper stupid. So we'll see. I'm gonna get that up this week because I need to get it out. I want to try it again before that Acolyte show shows up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Think that'll be good?
I wasn't impressed with the footage I saw at Star Wars Celebration, so we'll see. You know, I was hoping that what I saw was just rough, but it looked exactly like what the trailer was, and to me, it just felt like more. I don't know. I'm not a fan of wire fu in Star Wars. To me, like the wire fu stuff is like dreamlike, so it works great for the Matrix. It works great for Crouching Tiger because it's like a fairy tale. But Star Wars, I'm like, I just feel they should be doing action that's closer to. We interviewed Ahmed Best, Jar Jar Binks actor, right, a couple years ago, and he was saying how when he initially George was telling him that Jar Jar was going to be like physical acting, physical comedy. He thought it was going to be more like Jackie Chan, and I was like, yeah, if you do martial arts and you want it to be funny, you make it more like Jackie Chan. It's visceral. So it's like I just think like they can do martial arts that's, you know, visceral but still fun, you know. But they're going with it, so we'll see how that plays out. We'll see how that plays out. Yeah, I love the Star Wars manga, man. So like, we recorded a pretty fun cast, so it's just like, okay, you know. It's like, how fast can you draw an exploding city, Brandon? You know?
You'd be better off asking me how fast I can draw an explosion.
Explosions are a little more difficult than you'd think. Easier in color. When you're getting into black and white, it's just... I don't know. It's very subjective. It's like... I gotta draw this thing twice. So it's like I'm blasting through the first pass. I gotta get everything in. Reveal Threnpope. Revealuranthrop asks, is this just for fun or a cover? Behind me was just for fun. This was I did a digital version and a traditional version, and then I sold the traditional version. Yeah. Yes. No, I've never done any work for DC. I've worked on the Warner Brothers licensed T-shirts, like for Batman v Superman, but I've never actually worked for DC. But not done it.
Would you?
I'm not against it. I mean, I'm against crazy deadlines, so I wouldn't take a crazy deadline, no.
Like, you never thought to like see if you could do some cover work for them?
They don't. Yeah. You just apply to the cover department. That's how it works. Bram, I don't think you understand how cover art works. It doesn't work on.
Okay, wait. I understand, but I'm asking you questions so that you may talk to your viewers about how to get into the comic industry, sir.
Yeah, well, I couldn't tell you how to get into the comic industry, so I wouldn't know. You know, like, I mean, I'm drawing a comic book, but I did not. I mean, generally, people just hit me up and go, "Would you like to do something?" You know, that's kind of how it's worked. But cover arts work on like popularity, essentially, like. You know,
Yeah.
if you have a giant following online, then you got a better shot at it, you know, because, you know, it's an incentive-based system. It's not, hey, you have a cool art style, I make for a fun cut. That's got nothing to do with that. And I know because when I was at IDW, I was initially hired to do the main covers for this miniseries called First Strike, which was like mass G.I. Joe Transformers fighting stuff, right? And then they moved me to the variant cover, and nothing sold. Because they're like, yeah, man, it's worst sales we've ever had. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm nobody, dumbass. Like, you're supposed to put me on the main cover. You know, they put Will Spertassi on the main cover. I'm like, I get that, but he should be on the incentive cover. See, this is why you're going out of business. See?
Yeah.
Right, Brandon?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Make them buy more of your comics to get the Will Spertassi cover.
Exactly.
So, whatever. Reveal says, yeah, he's not an artist, and even he knows that. Right. Well, apparently that was news to them. So, whatever.
Besides Swamp Thing, okay? Give me 3 DC books, any character you would like to do a cover for. So 3 DC characters that you think you could make a dope-ass cover for.
Azrael. I don't know, like whatever, dude. Plastic Man. What?
I'd say for you, Lobo, because you did a dope ass Lobo. That shit was fucking.
Oh yeah, I could deal with it.
Lobo. I think Swamp Thing. You could do a pretty dope Swamp Thing, so I'll let you have that one. And then I think I'd throw in something weird like a Zatanna cover.
It's not weird.
Know, something where
boring.
But I'm saying I'd have you do something wild on it, something that would bring it to life. You know.
Give me Asbats. I'll draw Asbats. Is that a thing? Let's do an Asbat series. I can draw the suit.
There you go.
Yeah, Reveal. I have a Lobo. You could see it on my socials. It's right on my DeviantArt and I think my main website at sketchcraft.com. I did a black and white traditional line drawing with a painted red background. Came out really nice. I gave his gun motorcycle parts. I called it the Moto gun. Came out really fun. The Comics Binge. Paul says, Rob, I need an Azrael sketch on here. Yeah. That's my jam. Azrael, Asbats, you know, that's my jam. Nightwing.
Nightball, Batman.
Yeah, I like all that stuff.
If you could, can you just on the stream let everybody know when you die, get that Asbat statue of yours?
I'm gonna outlive you, Brandon. Like, just statistically speaking. Like.
Oh yeah. At least just bring it to my funeral and just kind of like have it there, like in one of the chairs.
You think the thing's portable? You think it's portable? You think like you can just pick that thing up and take it with you? You nuts? You have any idea how much the base weighs? It's crazy, dude. I have a giant metal jack underneath the table, propping it all up. You know, it's crazy.
How'd you get it up the stairs?
Reveal says you'll have to check it out. He only caught maybe one other stream of mine, but you know I'm following on multiple. Yeah, dude, no stress, man. But yeah, like I just said, I told you I streamed the Lobo. I'll have to check and see if I got those videos, Reveal. I'll put it together and stream it tomorrow. If I don't, then I won't. I'll check it when we're done with the stream. I thought I streamed the Lobo. Didn't I stream the Lobo? Right? I thought I did.
I'm pretty sure. I mean,
I wasn't streaming everything at the time, though, Brandon. So I can't. You know what I mean? So I did the Lobo when I was at Overwatch, and they were making me question whether I could even draw. You know. So I was like, I think I know I can draw, and I drew that. I was like, see, I can draw. You know, telling me I can't draw. What are you talking about?
The real question is, can you draw a mime?
Who's mime?
You don't remember? Am I allowed to remember when you were making up having to make up characters for that property, and they wanted like a mime character?
No, they didn't want a mime character. They wanted a Russian sailor.
I thought one day you said they threw out like an idea for like a mime or some shit too.
Paul says he's got to run. Later, Paul. Thanks for hanging out.
Paul,
we're gonna do a podcast, and we're gonna talk about the Furiosa script. Yeah, that'll be fun.
You should also do a bonus segment where you talk about the George Miller Justice League.
Andika says, I would want a commission from you in the future. I just don't know what yet. Yeah, I'm gonna, when I'm done with Spawn, I'll take on commissions. I can't deal with that right now. But yeah. I will. At one point, I won't be working on it, and we'll do commissions for certain.
All right.
And Reveal says, hell yeah, I just work, take care of animals, and making music taking up all the time. I only catch Roman and Jerk streams because time and Optimal. Oh yeah, dude. Oh, Roman's great. I'm gonna watch his Michael Golden Part 3 video tomorrow in the mornings. While I work. I'm making my regular stream time like 2 to 6, but sometimes I do night streams too, like tonight. Real says, oh, and my ICS knows as soon as that spawn hits. His local comic shop says as soon as the spawn hits, it's on. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I look at that first issue and I'm like, man, I could draw it better. That's how it always works,
Yeah.
But it is a good first issue. I know I could draw it better. Nothing I can do now. You're gonna get your money's worth, though. I can assure you that.
That is true.
Real says same with music, right? Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, you just gotta be done with it. You're just like, look, that is from the time and place in which I made it, right? So, but to everyone else, it's new, so it's like, all right, There's good stuff in there, though. I mean, beyond just the details, there's just stuff I did with expressions and character acting and secondary animations, and I call them animations, but expressions, like having characters react to what's going on in a scene. That I would just try to add a lot of secondary reactions to side characters or background characters and stuff that is relevant, not just dumb expressions, So you'll see. Oh look, I got the flats done. Yay, Rob. Every time I draw those stitch lines in, like, colorists generally try to like fill them in with like a different color, and I'm like, no, leave them the color of the clothing, or the stitch lines will stick out too much.
Yeah. I mean, if you need me to do the flat so I can get credited in the book, that's cool.
You gave up doing flat, friend.
You took them away from me. I almost died doing the Star Wars one, the flats with the Star Wars.
Oh yeah, you did do that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just spent so much time picking. See, Brandon did flats, but I did the local flat colors, so he did selection flats. And there just came a point where I was like, I'm already having to like recolor all the flats, and so like kind of made what you're doing pointless because I could just do it all at once. You know what I mean?
Story of my life, man. Story of my life.
Yeah, it just didn't make any sense. Why make Brandon do something I'm already gonna have to do, essentially? No way around it.
Torture.
Flats are just part of the business. Even when you got a million things. They always go, no, well, see, clips through your paint. You just use the little paint bucket. You feel, no, not on my art, you know. Like, this is easy. This, sure. This, yes. But on my other, no. There's no. So then what happens is people go, well, you just draw more simply, and then you can do all. Then everyone starts making the same looking art because they're all trying to cater to some automated feature. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing any of that. I'm making what I'm making, and if it takes me a full day or two to do the flats, and that's how long it took to do the flats. That's
I remember sometimes it took me 8 hours, sometimes it took me 10. It was definitely a chore. Pay my dues or whatever.
Reveal says, then you'll have others pitching about making stuff too simple. Yeah, then they'll be like, how come everything's so simple and no one ever put the work into comics like they used to? Stop telling it. Speed. Look, I understand about, you know, there's a reality to production, and sometimes you're going to be having to blah, 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 work your ass off. I get it, right? But the push for everything getting done faster, productivity, is how we ended up in a world where there's a 1,000,000% increase in productivity and a like -2% in pay increase. You know, we're all being very productive. Productive isn't the problem. We're not getting paid for the quality of it. We're not getting paid. Productivity's gone up, but getting compensated hasn't. So it's like, and it's what led us to AI, I feel. This need to be endlessly like, oh, look, now we can do it in seconds. Well, I can't compete with seconds. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm doing it my way. My way, and that's a result. And it's a result that not too many, I don't know, kind of have my own look, right? So that's just how long it takes. I made my peace with it. I mean, at my age is like, well, what can I do? You know, like, I'm not going to get faster, like, just statistically speaking, right? Like, people don't go, hey, man, I'm 46, I got faster. Like, no, I'm just going to make sure that the quality increases or doesn't dip as I get older. That's what I'm more focused on, because nothing's sad when you saw, like, guys who could really draw hit their 40s or 50s, and then they just, like, don't draw well anymore, you know? You're like, what is that? And it can't be their age, you know? So some dudes, I mean, Alex Ross is still killing it, so that's not it. You know? And the 9 old men at Disney, they were drawing into their like 70s. They were animating practically entire films, like Jungle Book, Sword in the Stone, and shit like that. Revile says, I think AI art is fun, but I don't think people should be playing off like it's theirs, or that the AI didn't take inspiration. It didn't just take inspiration, it literally borrows a million different snippets from other art and reconfigures it. That's how generative AI was developed. Stable diffusion stands for diffusion, which is to spread apart. So when they were creating stable diffusion, they trained it by saying the word apple, or typing in the word apple, and they showed it a million pictures, and it would take all these different pictures and they would bring them together to create an apple. In other words, they'd start with a picture of an apple and break it into a billion pieces. That's how it worked. They trained them all by taking pictures of an apple or a picture of a baseball or a bat and breaking it into a million pieces. And then they taught it to recombine it. And so now it just works by sampling from this data set a million different images, toosh, into that thing. That's how that works. That's it. It's not inspiration. It's literally how it works. It's not a hive mind. That is how the technology works. So, but most people don't understand that. So that's where the term stable diffusion comes from. I did all the necessary interviews and research and shit like 2 years ago when it all started. And I was like, okay, that's how it works. And I come from the t-shirt industry. And in the licensed t-shirt industry, people jacking, that's what they would call it, jacking other people's like bits or layouts and stuff and putting it into t-shirts to get a lot of work done is exactly how t-shirt companies get sued. Walmart has like, you have to always show your process, like where you came. You have to prove where you got stuff from in t-shirts, because theft is rampant in t-shirts, right? So, or in any clothing line, it's just rampant. So I'm like, the minute I saw that's how it worked, I'm like, well, this is never gonna work like the way everyone thinks it will, because at some point whatever image you created by typing in a prompt, it'll have a piece of someone's work, right? Somewhere. It's going to have a piece of it. Sometimes at this point, it's almost the entire thing, like depending on what you typed in.
Yeah.
And that will end up on a good at Walmart. And then Walmart will have to remove it. There'll be $1 million charge back to whoever put that out, and then they'll get sued, and it'll be a whole thing. So that's why I told Brad, I'm like, just watch this giant, colossal waste of time and money on this whole thing. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My job, they try to push it so hard, and I just laugh at them every time. I just go.
That's why I don't see me over here ranting
me.
and railing about it, Brandon, because I'm like, I know how it's gonna go. I've already lived this.
Oh yeah.
I did licensed T-shirts from 2005 to 2015. I've seen this a million times. Like, give you an example. The Obama poster, remember Hope? Right? It's based off a photo. That artist just kind of took a photo, right? And traced over and created what he thought was transformative. It wasn't transformative. It was based off another photo that someone else owned. And that guy was able to sue Shepard Fairey. So that's how that worked. And won.
Yep.
And you're like, and Rivell says, yeah, I don't think that's why everyone should play off like they made it. Yeah, but they will. I mean, I've been in art departments, Rivell, where artists literally
happens at my job every day.
Where here's what they'll do, right? And you'll see this like in graphic design departments, t-shirt departments, whatever, all the time. And it's like, they're like, oh yeah, man, here's a t-shirt I did. And you're looking at it, and you're like, you did that. Okay, what did you do? Did you compose elements that were pre-made? But half the time, whole chunks of that didn't come from like even like a style guide that was handed to you. Sometimes they literally come from other artists' t-shirts where they physically drew it. They would just take other elements someone else drew, put it on their shirt and call it theirs, and then go get a job somewhere else. Well, then they can't make that shirt. They can't make anything like that shirt when they get to somewhere else. So anytime you're like interviewing, this is why if you look at my socials, since I've been on let's say full time since 2005, I've been on the internet since my DeviantArt starts in 2005. Before that, I was on a board called Shangline Sketchboard Sessions. I always show my work in progress, my sketches, my work in progress. That's why this channel, or the Twitch and the YouTube, has me always like drawing, because I've been the teacher now. I'm like, people will know. Not only did I do it, here's how I did it. Here's how long it took.
Yeah,
you know, and they're just not gonna be able to do it, and they're going to be like, well, I mean, this was ethically sourced. I don't know what ethically sourced means to you, but like, what's going to end up happening, even if they pay for all the data sets and it's on the up and up, what will happen is everyone will end up making the exact same thing. That's what happens when t-shirt companies design t-shirts solely based off style guides. They get these style guides and then they drag those style guide elements to shirts. And then you go to Walmart and you're like, how come everything looks the same? I don't want to buy anything. It's all boring. You're like, that's why. Because they thought they could we call them drag and drops. They could just drag and drop their shirts. But see, I bring up shirts all the time or in clothing because the turnaround on that happens so quickly. It's a very fast-paced environment. Like, you're having 4 full seasons a year. Plus, I mean, between Christmas, holiday, back to school, summer, like these things, like, the amount of work you have to do. Brandon worked with me in a t-shirt department for what, 5 days, Brandon? Right?
A week, yeah.
A week. He worked with me a week, you know? And it's like, how many shirts do you think I was doing a day from beginning to end? By hand, like drawing.
10?
Yeah, I was probably drawing 5 to 6 by hand, and I was doing another 5 to 6 based off style guide elements. You know? So I was doing definitely between 10 and 12 shirts a day. When I started, it was one a day.
Log in my computer.
When I started, you're only expected to do 1 a day, and then it got to 10 to 12. I mean, that's why I'm like, no, not with the productivity thing, the speed thing. Ravel says, I'm even okay with the company using AI art or even an AI comic cover, but like transparency. Like, this was made with this app. I just don't think morally it's ever worked. He says, I mean, I don't mean to claim to be a super intelligent person, but some people do just love what they're told to do. They're just end up being what they're fed. Yeah, except that it's literally pulling from someone else's pre-existing art. I don't know how to say this, like, without permission. So it'd be like saying, hey man, I'm totally cool with Rob getting $1 million. Is it okay if I just pinch a few cents from your bank account, but I get to have $1 million? I'm pretty certain if we just frame it like that, everyone would understand. Wait, so I only cost me a quarter, but Rob got to have $1 million. When do I get my turn? Oh, never. You never get your turn. That's the brilliant part. Now I'm going to make 10 million. You know what I mean? And then I'm going to make 20 million. You're never going to get nothing. So it's also a colossal problem with the power. So the power grids in Georgia right now, especially, are feeding off this like crypto and AI problem. So these things are just sucking up energy like you wouldn't believe, and they have no way to replenish it. None of these grids were designed for this kind of like estimation. So pretty soon all your electric bills are going to triple, because guess who's going to get priority on power? The AI companies, Google, Microsoft, Stable, OpenAI. So like pretty soon, folks, whatever your power is right now, just go ahead and triple it. And it's going to be because they're sucking up all the power.
Yeah. And
that's the conversation no one's having yet, but I'm telling you, it's coming. Come back next year on the NDA podcast. And we're all so I can't tell you what to do with it, right? Like they are on a freight train. What it is we've hit peak AI, peak tech industry with like the iPad. Nothing other than maybe Oculus, nothing really new has come across the way that's actually innovative and interesting to own. So they're all trying to find another way to create a new Bitcoin, which, by the way, crypto's still killing the shit out of the power grid as well. So that's a whole nother problem too. So they're all just trying to find the way to like impress shareholders and juice up their stock, but it's going to come at a giant cost. And for, jobs and all that other stuff, I don't know, like we'll see how that actually plays out, the reality of it. But I'm just telling you right now, one day, could be something, you drew or someone else drew is going to end up, on a major motion picture as an AI generated asset. And that's when the lawsuits are going to run rampant. And they're not going to sue for like $1 million. You're going to sue for $100 million. I guarantee it, So very litigious. And a jury will award it, especially when, it will happen. So yeah, Mandika says, I hope the suits have a nice day in hell. What's new, man? I'm like, but hey, like, I'm not here to make everyone depressed. That I do that for Brandon when we talk. I leave that for Brandon. But I'm just pragmatic about it. Like, I understand where this has gone. It's nothing new to me. It's gone exactly the way it's gone exactly the way I said it would 2 years ago, right? Like, have I been wrong? And Brandon loves to tell people when I'm wrong. So don't go thinking like, he's over here.
Oh yeah.
Kissing my ass.
I love correcting you when you're wrong. I love it.
Right.
It's rare, but when it is, I'm like, fuck, it's my turn. It's my turn.
No, it's not rare. No one's 100% right, or even let's say, to be fair, man, no one's even 50% right. But I get, when it comes to like, if I make a prediction, it's not based off like intuition. Put it that way. You know what I mean? Unless I tell you, I just think this and they have nothing to back it up. But yeah. I've seen this. I've already lived this stuff. But whatever. We'll all find out together. We'll see. That'll be that. But yeah, so as for people like pretending to be artists because they typed in a prompt, I'm like, yeah, you want to know something, man? Someone's put it on Threads the other day. They're like, hey, man, so it's not easy to come up with these prompts. This took me like 3 or 4 hours to generate this. It was some Ninja Turtle AI art. And I'm like, yeah, man, like, I mean, sometimes it takes me 10 to 40 hours to beat a Call of Duty. It doesn't make me a soldier. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I get there's some challenge, but that's not the same thing as having actually done something, It's so funny.
It's also double funny because you did serve, so.
Yeah, that's not. We don't have to bring that up. You know what I mean? Like, I try to paint like a picture they can understand.
Yeah.
Reveal says you're pretty good at intuitive predictions, but there are definitely times I want to be wrong. Yeah. And look, history is not always a guidepost. I mean, it's a guidepost, but it's not like, oh, history will repeat itself. No, not really. Sometimes, there are common themes, and like anything else, democracy and like people's rights always have to be renewed. I think we sort of like when you grow up in a society that's based on storytelling, we all think everything's a 3-act play. Like, oh, we won, so now we're good. No, you're going to have to renew that all the time. And right now, we're just in a place where, you know, the chips right now are stacked against the common good. You know, the common well-being. Forget politics, forget anything else. It's just, hey, I don't think it's just in a just society that people should have to worry about calling the ambulance, that's going to bankrupt them. Why even have ambulances if it's going to bankrupt you? Doesn't even make any sense, right? So this is, you know, the system has allowed it, the corruption of the system has allowed it to get this far. So, well, it will implode on itself at some point, whether it's my lifetime or someone else's. But there we go. Reveal says, all I can draw upon myself is Rob Zombie, like monsters and cartoons, and I can only do it when I actually. That's the hardest part, Reveal. Like, I work, you know, like, I got my first, like, in an art department job in 2005. And having to show up at 9 a.m. and no matter what mood you're in, produce is a totally different skill set. Right, Brandon?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a totally different skill set because you don't get to choose whether you're in the mood today or not. Like, no, stuff's due. And it's going to have to be magical. Just getting it done isn't going to cut it. You know, it's like working at a high-end restaurant where you're like, no, they expect results every time, you know? So, yeah, it's it developed a lot of, I mean, I already always kind of had like a blue-collar job mentality when it comes to art, but it helped develop a certain skill set to go, okay, I'm not in the mood, but I know how to move things forward, and I do have a process for like getting to the end result, whether I want to do it or not, you know? So,
yeah.
But most people don't, and I don't think everyone should. You know, just like I don't have, hey man, I can, you know, clean up a bandage, but I don't think I have the guts to like do surgery. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone has the stomach for certain things.
Right.
So it's fine. You know, not everyone's made to do that, but automating it is just going to do one thing and one thing only. It's going to create a lot of junk. If you think there's too much generic content now, just you wait. Just you wait. Because the systems are built upon giving you more or producing more of what's popular, which means it's going to filter down to like 3 things and you're just going to be blasted with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Them the facts, folks.
Like this company I used to work for, I was talking with the guy who still works there, and he's like, I was like, have you guys put Riz on a shirt yet? And he goes, no, man, they stopped doing that like a couple years ago, putting just random internet trends on tees because they don't sell. By the time they get to the floor and everything, usually they're over with.
Yeah.
So it's like chasing that stuff got them nowhere. And I'm like, thank God, because that wasn't always that way, but around 2007 and 8, it was like you have to chase. Right when gamer speak, leet speak started, is when chasing every little phrase became a thing. And it was like, please don't. Like there was ice bucket challenges, you know. Was it that challenge accepted, that kind of stuff? Remember that, Brandon? Every day I'm shuffling. Yeah. Remember that one? Right. Mm-hmm. And you're like, why are we putting every day I'm shuffling on Peanuts shirts? Like, how does that? What does that have to do with Charlie Brown? And you're like, oh no, man. Because you got to chase that trend, and it's like, thank God that stopped. And Nika says they put a stamp of approval about their not using mocap in the movie. Do you remember in that Ratatouille movie they put a stamp about there not being mocap? Yeah, well, I mean, Brad Bird, you know, understands the benefits of the longevity of hand-to-hand keyframed pose-to-pose frames and stuff. You know, the problem with a lot of mocap is that, or anything, At the time, mocap was really bad. Now they have, you know, facial capture, which is way better, which is what they use on Avatar and stuff. And that stuff looks pretty good. But in 2006, you know, facial mocap was horrible. If you go look at like Polar Express or Beowulf, it's not good.
Oh yeah,
not good. Shuffling. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was there. I saw every stupid trend for a 10-year period. You know. Although, I've told this story before, but you guys are new. You probably haven't heard it. Back in 2007, I was working at this small t-shirt company, right? And they got the Microsoft Xbox 360 license. And so they were like, we need to make some Microsoft shirts that are like going to get us into like, this is a small company. They wanted to get into malls and Hot Topics and stuff. And everything Microsoft had was very corporate looking. Okay. Extremely corporate looking. Make it fun is what they said. And this was right when Leet Speak had started. Like they didn't even know what it was. Like, you know, the numerical, the backwards E's, all that stuff. Right. So I did some Leet Speak shirts. Right. And Microsoft said, hey, don't put any of that. We don't want that associated with us, because they thought it was like vulgar or something at the time. Only use pre-approved verbiage. And that's verbiage that's in their style guide. So they had two slogans in there. One was only on Xbox 360, and the other one was like, it wasn't play aloud, that's Nintendo, but it was something like that, play together or some stupid shit. So only on Xbox 360. So I put the red ring of death on a shirt, right? the red ring, and I put only on Xbox 360. And everyone in the art department thought, that's brilliant. Oh, that's great. Oh man, did I get a phone call? All hands on deck Microsoft meeting on Monday morning. Do not antagonize our licensors, Rob. It's like, look, it cost you like at the time like $100 million or something. I was like, look, we can make some of the money back, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't go so well.
It's crazy they didn't like that one.
No, they didn't like it. Yeah, so I just put the logo on the shirt and did some stupid patterns that never sold. So that worked.
I don't know if you could. I was never sure what you can talk about, but what was the company's name? The ones that do the video games. IGN?
GN, yeah.
You remember your IGN story about the shirts you wanted to make? There was like, you wanted to use a certain brand or a certain company or a certain thing, and they were like, no, let's not use that, and then someone else got it, or what was it? I feel like there was a story where you wanted to get Fortnite license for your Sea Life or something, and they wouldn't do it.
No, I mean, look, this is before Fortnite came out, and they were accepting submissions. I was at another smaller t-shirt company. Because what happened is you go to a t-shirt company, and then they all got bought up by the first t-shirt company I ever worked at. So I should have just stayed at that one company and never left. That's basically it. Because everywhere I went, they bought out the other company. And then when I finally did go back to the big company, all the art I did at several other companies was there. It was weird. But yeah, so I was at the smaller t-shirt company called Sea Life, and they said, hey, you know, what do you think, you know, would make good for blah, blah, blah. And so I pitched Fortnite and Rick and Morty before they'd come out, right? Because I had seen the Rick and Morty bit at Comic-Con. And so this was before it had hit prime time. And Fortnite hadn't come out yet. It was still like, but I knew it was coming. It was at the time, it was like a cartoony zombie-based thing. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to be kind of like Left 4 Dead, but with like fort building and stuff. I think it's going to be pretty good. Epic's a look, I mean, they, you know, Quake and shit. I just trusted that they were going to make a fun game. They didn't do that. Instead, the owner's kid told them to get the IGN license.
That's right.
Yeah, the IGN license. And I was like, IGN doesn't make anything. They're just IGN. Like I've been on IGN since 1996 when it was N64.com, part of the Imagine Games Network. It was a coalition of gaming sites, right? They had PS1.com or something like that. They had to change them all because Nintendo and Sony sued. So they put them under PS1.ign.com. That's how we're n64.ign.com. That's how that happened. So, I'm like, and then no one wants to hear from me, right? Oh, you sure you know? Just do the thing. I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So I went right back to like the Microsoft thing. I'm like, I'll take some popular phrases at the time, and it was just, I don't know, like challenge accept. It wasn't that, but it was a bunch of these kinds of phrases. And I took the text and I made the text stylized like a video game, like kind of Mario bricks, right, or coins, but without Mario, right? Like a generic version of that. Maybe it's got a pipe, like a pipe, because like Flappy Bird had a pipe and Nintendo couldn't do anything about it. So I was like thinking like that, right? As long as you don't put a piranha plant in the pipe, you should be okay. Anyways, I put this package together in a day or two. I had 2 days. IGN sees it, they hate it, and they go, we want to do a phone call to let you know what direction we want you to go in. I'm like, hey, thanks for not telling me before I started. Appreciate that. So I take the phone call, and they're like, so we don't want to do anything with games. We don't want to be known. We want to be known as a movie company, not a game company. Movie stuff. And I'm like, but you're IGN, like your name is in the Imagine Games Network.
Yeah.
Like you're known for games. I can't help that. Like that. Maybe you go and do that first and then we do shirts. Cause we're a licensed t-shirt company. We're just like a bumper sticker company. We kind of already put what's popular on something. We're not here to change your brand and your awareness into the world. Like you need to work with a branding company, right? Like a marketing company. Like what do you mean? So they're like, yeah, they wanted like Captain America style shields with IGN on it, which is crazy because they had the Marvel license. And I'm like, this is going to get us in trouble with Marvel. We can't do that. I mean, I refuse to do it because I just know I'll get the blame when you guys lose the Marvel license. No one will remember Rob said no, right? So, so suffice to say, we gave him a bunch of stuff and then corporate put the kibosh on it and nothing ever got done with IGN because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was a dumb idea. Yeah.
I mean, good thing Fortnite didn't take off or anything like that.
Oh, yeah, and then he missed out on Fortnite. Missed out on Rick and Morty. I mean, it happens a lot, dude.
Yeah.
They just... these people in charge, they have to go with either what they think is good or what their kids tell them. That's it. They don't trust the people they hire. I don't know why. You know what I mean? Like, well, my kid watches everything. I'm like, your kid has a bias. Like when I was a kid, I liked a lot of cool shit that's still cool. So I'm not the good example. I'm not the good example of this. I have excellent taste. What can I say? Most people went to go see the Flintstones movie. I was watching The Crow. What can I tell you? You know what I mean? It happens, dude. But I'm like, you did hire me. I'm trying to help you make the money. My whole like argument with this is like, there's no commissions, like, or like if they sold $1 billion, I don't get a bonus. I never got a bonus at a t-shirt company. So it's like, I don't get a bonus if I sell one shirt for you or 1 million shirts for you. Yeah. I'm just here to, earn what you pay me. And I'm here to, to help you make more money. So why would you not listen? Like, hire your kid. Let your kid do all the shirts. Why do I even need to be here? Right? Like, it's not even like a combative argument. It's just like common sense, right? Like, I'm willing to bet his kid ain't up right now drawing 10 years later. No. Wonder what he's doing right now. Rivel says, I had older brothers, so I watched stuff like Wizards as a kid. Yeah, Wizards was dope. I had those boobs.
Plot twist, Rob. That guy's kid's in the chat right now watching you.
Oh, it's Mandikas. It's Mandikas. It was No, it's not Mandikas. But yeah, I know, right? It's just, I don't know what to say, man. Help me help you. Her naked lunch. Read lots of stuff I probably should. Yeah, I know, right? It's like, what can you do? You know, what can you do? I tried to get them to get Minecraft when it was in alpha. I was playing Minecraft in alpha mode. Like, it was right before we got chickens or cows. It was one of the two things. And they were like, "Oh my god, we got cows and chickens!" Like, it was like, I was like, "This is the most fun I've had playing a video game since like Mario 64 and shit." So I was like, "Guys, this is like a 8-bit game in 3D, and it's infinite. It's gonna be a big deal. You should get on it now and do it, and do it, and do it." Yeah. And then, years later, when the other companies have the Minecraft license, and I'm stuck making generic Minecraft like knockoff shirts and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, I could just be making Minecraft shirts if you'd listen to me. And because he's tempted to play I when they added Redstone, I stopped playing. I liked the game before Redstone. I can reset it. You can go download that old version and put it on there. I just liked it when minecarts were infinite and I didn't have to like continually make little like redstone chargers to charge them up. Used to be when you placed a minecart in there, you hit the thing, it just went on forever. I loved that. I didn't like it when you had to like find a way to recharge them. I'm like, that's like real life. I don't want real life. Like, it's funner the other way.
Yeah.
And Nika says the port dev by what he believes to be JE4J Studios is a solid. Yeah. That's when they got that dude to redo all the graphics and stuff too. Like he repainted all the logos and. Alrighty. I got this stuff. We're on. What time is it? Never enough time, right? Never enough time.
Never.
I want to use this time to get this second building. That's another round. Oh, shuckers. Let's walk this in. I've been wrong though at t-shirt. I've been wrong. Have I ever set them on? I don't think I've been too wrong. Like what I thought would be a good idea and it turned out to not. But let me think about when I went down the road.
You got me hired.
Yeah, I was wrong about you being in that art department for certain.
No.
Bad call.
You were wrong about thinking the boss man would have had more patience and time to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. I thought he had grown up and then he didn't. So it was just a bad call all around.
Literally the first day I got there, everybody, I got put at my desk. I was told this is my desk. The boss wasn't even there. Like I got there, like let's say I started at 9, the boss doesn't come in until 10. And I can't log into the computer because it's still set to the last guy's password. And there's no way we're trying to get into it, can't do it. Okay? So I'm just sitting there with nothing to do. I can't get in the computer. I'm just sitting there. And the boss comes in and goes, "Why aren't you working?" And I was like, this is the first interaction I ever had with him. I'm like, I can't log in the computer. And he's like, "Why not?" I'm like, it's set to the guy you just fired password, so I don't know how to reset it. Well, why not? And I'm like, I'm not a tech guy. I don't know, man. Like, I'm just, hi. And that's how it started.
Yeah.
And then later it's like, he's like, you need to make sure you access our servers. And I'm like, again, day one, I don't have the password for that.
Yeah, this was just a one office. It was a 2 office, well, technically 3. One big room, an office for the art director, and a small back room for a salesperson. There was no IT. It's not. Yeah. It was like it was a remote office basically. For the central office was in New York, and this was a remote office, a satellite office built in San Clemente. So it was like we were our IT. And my art director, he was with me at that other company. He was just used to having like everything kind of like figured out, you know. It's like, no, it's not figured out, man. And not everyone, well, everyone should know how to do it. I'm like, not everyone's an IT guy, dude. You know, it's not part of the job description.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Not my best start.
It happens. All right, Reveal. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it.
Later.
And Nika says he also did that Banjo-Kazooie port. Oh, yeah, the Banjo-Kazooie port. But, yeah, whatever, dude. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I haven't had any big, like, wrongs in t-shirts because it's too easy in industry. I felt like it just wasn't... You have as much knowledge of stuff, you know, than your pop culture stuff as you should, you know, then you'll be all right. If you're a person who, like, only pays attention to what you like and doesn't pay attention to what could be cool, you know, like, regardless of what you think, then you're gonna have problems. But, like, I used to go to the mall all the time and just look around, like, oh, what's going on here? What's going on there? Like, I was always that way, even as a kid, because I couldn't afford shit, so I always window shopped. So I was a good window shopper, you know? So, like, before COVID, I used to just go to malls, and I'd spend, like, a day, once a month, perusing every shop just to see, you know, what people are wearing, what people are doing, what I thought was cool, what just is cool, you know? Like, and you can kind of, like, figure it out.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom. But you're gonna be on for a little while, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna set my headset down for 1 second. Be right back.
Okay. It's like, I didn't intend to do it this way, but, like, I always thought it'd be fun to... What if a comic had that, like, Carlos Maglia, maybe early Scotty Young kind of feel, but inked by Bill Watterson? Like, I've always wanted to see that, so it's like, I guess I'll make that. That's what Spawn Kills Every Spawn is. It has a bit of this sort of, like, 90s vibe with, like, old school inking and, you know, stylistic proportions. But if you're like, oh, I'm going to make something that I think will get me hired by another company, good luck with that. Like, even if that worked for you, eventually you're going to be completely, like, you're never going to get your own voice across. You're going to be, like, just chasing, you know, whatever the company tells you to do. Until they get rid of you. Until they find someone else who'll do it for cheaper, or they just plain up are like, you know what? You don't actually produce anything that's interesting. You know, like, thanks for... You know, what does that to do with me? I always find it to be like a bit of a trap. Like, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. It is helpful to learn how to play the game, but at some point you have to go, okay, now that I know how to do that, it's time to throw away all that stuff and do what I think I would like to see. Because to be perfectly honest, why bother doing it anyway? You know? Don't you want to make something that you've never seen before or has always been in your head? It's hard.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I got about 25 minutes left, and then I'll have to get ready for...
Well, I'm going to stop at 11, so it's like 40 minutes from now. You can hang out for 20, it's fine.
Yeah, I got you for a little while. Good old art departments. So much fun.
The lost art, man, kind of doesn't exist anymore.
Right?
I think Funko still... My buddy works at Funko. I think they still have that.
Oh, wow, these are good markers. I bought some chisel tip and fine point tip markers, alcohol-based markers off Amazon for, like, super cheap. It was like 120 for, like, I don't know, 20-30 bucks, you know, and I'm thinking they're gonna suck, but the first time using one, and it's not bad. Like it's you know, they got all the Copic colors and enough that it'll be good enough for sketch covers and sketches, and that's all I need it for. You know what I mean?
I bought an
these
Olo
sketch covers.
marker because Marissa mentioned that they were designed by the guy who used to work at Copic, and now he has the Olo markers, and they have like they're better built. They don't have that blobby problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I bought like one or two of them just to see how they do. To be honest with you, man, like I'm probably just going to be moving to Distress Ink for that kind of rendering.
Oh, yeah.
I just prefer the look of it. But
Have
we'll see.
You've used the Distress Ink on the sketch covers before, or just on paper?
Doesn't work on sketch covers. It works when you stamp it on the sketch covers, but painting it doesn't. But
right.
Yeah, for basic covers, I would just do color pencil. I don't like doing Copic markers on sketch covers anyway. To be honest with you, Brandon, I don't really make any more money doing a sketch cover than I do regular art. So I don't really see the point. It looks cool, but I'm like, I mean, if they Shelby and them were back in 2017 with something like $600 a cover, I'm like, if that were the case, and I'd be doing them all the time, but I don't make $600 a cover. So.
Right.
Not my world.
Well, I bought a shit ton of these sketch covers a while back, and now I'm like, I need to move them. So.
No, they could sit there until one day they're more valuable. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, these markers are pretty good. Well, they bleed pretty thoroughly through these pages, though. Damn. Did not expect that.
Color pencils don't bleed through the pages.
True. Sorry. Joys of working in a garage.
Hey man, Batman worked in the garage in The Dark Knight, right? So.
Oh yeah, we definitely have. We're on the same tax bracket and everything.
Yeah, you did science in that garage. You're not even doing science.
I know, right? What am I doing with my life, man? Step it up.
Yeah. Got to die an artist or live long enough to become a DJ, right, Brandon?
Oh, man. It's funny you say that. We had Ed record our main sales guy at our office, like the big moneymaker guy, and I want you to picture a major sales bro, and what he would look like. Can you take any guesses? Can you describe this guy for me? Major sales bro type guy, like. I mean, he has like the Johnny Bravo hair with the mullet in the back.
Oh, Matt's back now, the mullet?
And he also He's also a DJ. He's also a DJ.
Of course.
Yeah. He also does steroids. He's like 6'4", and you definitely know he does steroids.
Ketamine, Brandon. Ketamine.
He's talked about the steroids. I'm like, yeah, man, you can't get that giant blue vein in your arm just by working out. Like, I know. Like, you didn't have to tell me, but thank you for telling me. Like, I just can't. He'll never listen. I just don't like the guy. I just don't like sales bros. No, but listen, this new crypto, this is the one, okay? This is it. This is the crypto unlike any other crypto. Yeah, man, just like you said, NFTs was going to take over, and even GameStop's going to do NFTs. And how are they doing?
They're shuttling businesses. Yeah, the NFT thing didn't work out so well for me.
I laugh at my work all the time at all these people.
They're chasing trends.
What the new trend is going to be. Yeah. It was NFTs, and they're like, oh, NFTs are so big, you don't even know. You should turn your art into NFTs. I'm like, I'm not going to do NFTs. No, you should. Like, I'm like, listen, in 6 months, when either you're not working here, which a lot of them aren't, or NFTs have failed, get back to me. And then
look, I have a couple friends, and Megan Hetrick, she's been honest. Like, she did NFT work, like custom artwork, for these companies. And she got paid a handsome amount that covered her bills for, a good year or two. And I don't begrudge her for doing that, right? If she made the art herself, you know what I mean? Then that's on. She's got to pay her bills, man. That's the world we live in. You know what I mean? I'm never going to tell anyone, no, man, you can't pay your rent that way. If it's if you don't have to, if you got a choice, I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? So it's when people tell you gotta do things, or like they're like, no, mate, this is the future. I'm like, no, it's get in while you can now, but like much like that Pog market, don't go putting all your eggs in the Pog basket.
We were just talking about Pogs at work the other day too, and like a lot of me and my boss and a lot of the younger editors or video editors had no idea what Pogs were, and then we were trying to explain to them, like, no, man, you would go to like Supercuts while like your mom's getting a haircut, and you're on the ground in the lobby, and some other kid brings his stack of Pogs, and you're like, no, dude, I got the big slammer, and you took all his Pogs. And they're like,
yeah, and you destroy like, their stuff and have to get new stuff. Yeah, it was the dumbest, stupid thing.
Yeah, and they were like, what are you even talking about? I'm like,
that being said, Spawn had Pogs. They were called Spogs. And I managed to get a box when the market fell off for like $10 at the comic shop, you know what I mean? Yeah. And all these Spawn Spogs, and I did put a box of Spogs in issue 2. If you want, you have to wait till it comes out to find it. But Spogs are in Spawn Kills Every Spawn. Yeah, I made them official.
Very nice.
Chill Jensen says, "Hi, I love your chill streams, chill tunes." Oh, thanks, man. It's too late. It is too late to be hyperbolic, right? And if Joel ever hangs out on the Star Wars cast, and he'll know that's plenty of time to rant and rave. It's funny, man. When they did this trailer for the new animated series Tales of the Empire or whatever, right? It's got all this like, it's all about a couple female characters who went bad, and they're watching it, and I'm like, they just went and made the Empire female, like, because I'm like, guys, I'm joking, but that's coming, right? Like, there was never any women in the Empire back in my day, but so funny. You must love everything they do. No, I hate most of what they do, but that's nothing new. I've been disliking what Star Wars has been doing since Return of the Jedi, so don't. But then something comes along like Star Tours and brings me back in, right? Like, that's how it works.
Right.
Love Star
Rogue One.
Rogue One, right? I even liked the Force Awakens. Wasn't perfect, but it was fun. It was fun.
Right.
It had far better acting than the prequels. So let's not even kid ourselves about that.
Right.
Yeah. Spog. Mandika says Spog sounds like the defunct name of was Spawn Pogs. Spogs. They were just milk caps with artwork from Spawn comics. You already owned if you own on the milk caps.
Uh-huh.
When I say milk caps, I'm not talking about the plastic cap that would be on your milk jug. I'm talking about like the inner lining that would fill the inner side of the milk cap. Like,
Yeah. It wasn't quite cardboard.
No.
It was just a
foam insert.
Yeah.
With like a 1-ply card backing. Basically it. You know, like I lived through quite a few speculators markets and comics and when I was a kid, so like I just saw this coming. I'm like, oh, we're back to this now. Just the whole world's getting a good taste of it, you know?
Yeah.
This is just the part of the comic where it's like autopilot. So I just gotta move, keep moving. Not drawing itself.
Right.
I got a group shot, some characters that's gonna eat up like a day to draw. Because they're hard characters, and I designed them. I don't know why I did that. But I was like, I want to create characters that are impossible to draw because that'll be fun. I feel like I legitimately do that sometimes. It's like when I was at Comic-Con in like '93, and it was after the Nightfall came out, right? And I was in line waiting to get my book signed, right, by like my Nightfall books on by Joe Quesada and all these guys and stuff. And some artist, I don't know who it was, but it was like one of the regular like artists, you know, on the Bat books, no big name, but just one of the regular guys, was like, Quesada, man, he keeps making costumes, only he can draw, it's ridiculous, you know, you can't do this on like on a budget or on a timetable, on a monthly schedule. And you know, so then I just decided, well, if I get good at drawing the really hard characters, I'll be good to go, right? Guys like him complain, so I thought it'd be fun to design a crazy 90s style stuff, you know, that is still new and fresh, but you've seen them, right? And they look 90s, right? Like,
oh yeah, action figure-y.
Yeah, but they're a nightmare to draw. Like, I'm not even I'm not even gonna pretend otherwise. Like, have fun, whoever has to pick up the reins when I'm done.
Definitely going to get it simplified.
Avarok says, I'm going to Level Up Expo soon in Las Vegas and will cosplay as Vox from Hasbin. Oh, dude, Avery, that's dope. Hasbin Hotel's dope. Have you watched it yet, Brandon? Hasbin Hotel? Brandon? Did we lose Brandon?
I'm here.
Have you watched Hasbin Hotel, Brandon?
No, what is that? It's
an animated thing, dude. It's dope. It's kind of like a cross between like that Zach McCracken style, you know, like from Powerpuffs and Dexter's meets like Ankama, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I haven't heard of it.
Man, it looks like Ashley should be hooking up with these people. That's what it looks like. Like, super dope. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's awesome, Avery. Yeah, Hasbin Hotel is dope. Joel says, I respectively disagree about the acting in the prequels. I love the prequel performance. Episode 7 was a pretty big step down from Lucas's films. I honestly don't get the hate. Hayden was perfect. I know you feel that way, Joel. I know you do. You know, I
know where Hasbin Hotel is.
I was a huge fan of Condor Man, you know, but I understand that, you know, it's not in the same league as Superman, you know. What's up, Brandon?
It just popped in my head what it is. It's like those demon-looking devil characters in the hotel, and they kind of
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, yeah, I haven't watched it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you should definitely put that on while you eat some this week. You'll have a good time.
There was another show that was like that I saw on YouTube, like 4 or 5 episodes I really liked, where it was like when you die, you go to this like hell place and you have to still work. Like, what was that show? I'm gonna find it now. I really I watched like 3 or 4 episodes and I thought it was great. I don't think, but it has the same art style as the one you're talking about, but I don't think it's the same show.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'll find it. Hold on.
Okay. Okay.
I'll find it.
Joel says he like Jake sold him as a 9-year-old mannequin. Oh yeah, he's 9 years old. You got. I'll agree with you there. He's definitely 9 years old. Yeah. Well, best you can do, Joel, is spend your money where you like stuff. The best you can do.
Okay, here we go. It's made by the alias Vivzy Pop. Okay, yeah. I thought the art style looked.
Yeah, but what's it called?
I'm looking it up.
He's like Has-Been Hotel.
No, Has-Been Hotel is the new one, but he had something before that looked just like it. That I'm pretty sure. Oh, there it is. I found it. Okay. The show before that I liked was called Hell of a Boss, like HELLUVA Boss, and it's a demon imp. He runs his own small assassin business in hell. Okay, yeah. And it's 2 seasons long. I only watched maybe the first 4 or 5 episodes, but I liked it a lot. And yeah, okay, same artist. That's why I was like, this looks exactly like what I've seen before. But yeah, from the guy Vivzy Pop. Okay, yeah, same guy.
Yeah, well, send me a link in the Discord, Brandon. I'll check it out. I haven't seen that one. Was it on Netflix or something?
I watched it on YouTube.
On YouTube, okay.
On his YouTube channel. Let me see if I can.
I will check it out for certain. Every box's Hell of a Boss is in the same universe. So yeah, it's even in the same universe, Brandon.
Oh, it's the same universe? Okay, yeah, I mean, it's the same artist, same creator, so. Yeah, I'll send Rob episode 1. And he can go from there.
Will do. I was hoping Ankama would get to make another Dofus film, but
do you want episode 1 or do you want the pilot? Like, what would?
Just send me the site. Just send me both, and I'll check them out.
Okay.
I'll watch episode 1, then watch the pilot afterward, because generally,
all right. Yeah,
it's like a work in progress.
They're short too. Like they're only like 13, 14 minutes, but.
Yeah, Vivzy Pop
is
the girl who created. Yeah, Vivzy Pop. Yeah, she created that. Yeah. Super fun, man. Has a little bit of that Skydoll kind of vibe to it, but more wackier. Yeah, it's the kind of cartoons I expected Cartoon Network to kind of like continue to make, right? Like they kept going, but they did not. So. Jedi B311 says hello. What's up from the Twitch?
Hello.
The Twitchers. Brandon, you gonna go see the Phantom Menace in the theaters in May?
Only if you make me.
Huh? Yeah, I'm making you. You gotta go. You gotta do it. Jake says, Jake to me was nearly as good as Mark. And Chonk tried to try. You can't make me laugh, dude. It's working. It's working. Not picking on a little kid, dude. You're hilarious, man. His role wasn't as big as Mark's. He didn't quite have as many iconic moments. Okay. This must be what it's like when I tell my wife how much I love the raid, right, Brandon? Like,
Yes.
yeah, she doesn't want to hear it. You know? And I'm like, you don't understand. It's the greatest action movie of all time, and no one's never gonna get beat. Like, I stand by that. It is the two greatest action films of all time, and they never will get beat. You know, it was Jackie Chan's like Drunken Masters and stuff, but the Raid 1 and 2 it's too good. Too good. You know, I don't think I need to redraw in the background. Let me see what this looks like. Let me pull this up. And I bet you I don't have to. Let's see. It's just like, instead of cleaning, these buildings are all getting blown up, so I actually don't have to clean them up. If they're messier, it works out better. That's what I'm telling myself. That's the lie I tell myself. I'm like, you know, I really have to draw these buildings again. I got a giant building I got to clean up. There's no way around that. But these little things, no, I don't have to do that. No, I do not. Sometimes you got to be your own editor when you're doing this. You're like, come on, man. What are you doing? What are you doing? You know what I do like about the Phantom Menace, Brandon? You know what I do like? The manga adaptation of the Phantom Menace as drawn by Kiya Azayama. Have you ever seen it?
Mm-mm.
It needed to be 4 issues. They only got 2. So it's a little short. It's a little truncated, right? Goes by a little too fast. Some big scenes are like compressed into small panels. But it looks great. Go look up the Phantom Menace manga. Kiya Azayama. Kiya Azayama, Brandon. Go look that one up.
Let's see. Phantom Menace manga. Okay. All right.
Right? Not bad, right?
Yeah.
A fan of Kiya Azayama's work. He drew a really good Batman one-shot hardcover. It kind of had the Keaton vibe to it, but a manga version of the Keaton.
Yeah.
Yeah. The story was not so great, but the art was good. And I'm not too picky when it comes to stories. It's just that it was like, it was just weird. It's definitely designed for Japanese audiences, that story. I think Kiya did Steam Detective. Was that what it was called? What was it called? It was a butler. There was that one with the one that was kind of like Batman, but he had like a giant mech and stuff, and it was like I say Batman, like it wasn't like Batman, but it had the same kind of like idea of a rich kid, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Team Detective, what was that called? Big Butler 6 or some shit like forget the name of it. This is like late 90s, early 2000s anime, Brandon. Yeah. Been a while. Mandikas, he'll probably remember. He knows this. He doesn't really watch a ton of manga, so maybe anime. He'll know. I think Mandikas will know. Come on, Mandikas. You could say it. Big O. Was it the Big O? Was that it? Am I right? Brandon, type in Big O. The Big O anime, and see if I'm right that was the name.
Big O anime. The Big O anime.
Is it a giant robot?
2 seasons, came out in '99. It was like Batman with a giant robot.
See? There you go.
He's got a butler with an eye patch.
Yep.
It looks exactly like Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
And it's got a giant mech robot.
Fun anime, the Big O. No, Kia Azuyama. He designed an anime called the Big O. Good. I like his art. I'd even cite him as an influence. If you look at how I construct when I draw like anime-ish characters, very much like Kia Azuyama, I think. Not that it was intentional, but I just think like it left an impression on me around the late 90s. Because I was looking at the way I drew Wolverine, and I was like, man, this looks familiar. And now that I think about it, I'm like, I bet you he has a Yima. Like, I'm certain. Yeah. You get a bit of that in the Full Metal Alchemist art style, too. Some of the way the noses are constructed, you know? Like the chins and noses and stuff. Yeah, very similar. Of course, she was drawing around that same time, so I'm sure it was just what was popular at that time, right? Like, yeah. Very well constructed, Kia, as very well constructed. His character designs, like he did some manga stuff for Marvel, like X-Men. His designs, not so great. I wish they would just design stuff and like have him draw it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that his Phantom Menace adaptation's really well drawn, very well drawn. I just wish it was 4 volumes, not 2. It's like the pod race could be one whole book, you know? I'm sure Key has, and he's like, you really want me to spend my life doing that? It'll kill me. Yes, I'm signing you up for work, Kia. See, Brandon, I did remember. Pretty good, huh? The Big O.
Yeah.
All buried in there somewhere. Yeah, it's nice to have a page move at the normal rate of speed that I should be drawing. These last 5 pages, dude, have been like, oh, let's just draw crazy shit every page. You know, I think the whole 5th issue is gonna be like that, though. It's like everything's like being ramped up to 1 million, so it's like I'm gonna have to really, I don't know, I might have to push it myself a bit more on the 5th one. I say no, everything's responsible, but I just don't know. Like, we'll see.
Yeah.
When we get there, we'll get there. We'll find out. Did this book kill Rob or didn't it?
Right.
Because what I won't do is just be like, well, it's getting half-assed now. No, that isn't happening.
You streaming every night this week?
Every night, I don't know, but during the day, yes. What nights are you available? I'll stream if you're available at the night. I can do that.
I can do Tuesday nights are my for sure night. Like that's a given.
All right.
Right now I'm trying to work as much as possible to pay off a lot of the stuff from the Jessica, and then also I am 2 weeks away from buying my Japan ticket finally. Yay!
You know about the S cards and all that stuff you gotta get when you're over there?
Yeah. I got a whole laundry list of stuff that I know about. But I'm gonna plan it. That's why I'm like, everything is taking time. I would have had my Japan tickets already if the dog didn't get cancer after the divorce, but things happen. Ugh. My life's a country song.
That's what I was saying. Like, your life's a country song.
Yeah.
You should get Beyonce to sing about your life.
Too depressing.
When are you planning on going? Like June?
So it's going to be humid as shit, but going in the beginning of July, that's the only time.
So, okay, so you're going to be gone from the beginning of July till what? 2 weeks or a week?
2 weeks. So
that's good.
I'll be there, so not counting the day I fly out there, but like I'll be there for 11 days or so. So you got the first day of flying, and just kind of the next day you're kind of acclimating, and then there for 10 days, and then fly back. I think something like that. It's going to be like that.
Nice.
Yeah, I finally, besides my starter, I told you my starter went out like a week ago, right? I had to pay for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so besides that, and Gamora getting that second little thing that luckily was treatable and not cancer, I'm, knock on wood, because I don't want to jinx myself, I am, next paycheck, I can finally buy at least my plane ticket, okay? And from there, I can save up for the hotel and food and souvenirs and everything. I'll have a couple months, but at least I know for sure my plane ticket will be good. So I will be a happier man once that happens.
Well, good. I'm happy for you. You gonna just go by yourself, or you going with a friend?
Yeah, I'm going with the best friend, the girl, the best friend. Yeah, she already went, so she kind of has a lay of the land a little bit, and just,
excellent.
Yeah, so she, and she, it just helps going with somebody,
Oh yeah,
just,
no, 100%.
So
I wouldn't want you going by yourself.
If things had went different, all four of us could have gone, but. Because we talked about that before COVID, right? Didn't we?
Yeah, but the wife had to get the surgery, and that's just not happening this year.
Yeah, well, yeah, everything just, it all. I had to get to the divorce. We all had that thing that came up.
Yeah. So maybe next year.
But, I mean, I want to go again. Like, I know I want to go again. And I'd probably want to go in a, maybe like a less hot time. I want to.
Yeah, it's sad that you're going to go during the worst heat of the.
Yeah, I mean, I live in Arizona, so I'm used to.
Yeah, but this is the humid heat. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see.
Yeah,
you'll see.
Yeah, I don't know yet. I mean, I'm just kind of like, I haven't picked the exact dates. I haven't picked, And what I'm gonna do too is I'm gonna drive to LA, and then just fly out of LA, because it's like almost $800 cheaper to do that. So I could spend like $40 in gas to get to LA, because that's only like 4 or 5 hours for me.
Sure.
Park my car, and it's only gonna be like, I don't know, $100. So let's just say $150, and I save myself almost $900 instead of flying to LA round and then to Tokyo or whatever. It's like, it's crazy. It's ridiculous. Like, I looked at the prices. It went from like $1,900, $2,000, and like $2,300 to like $1,300. It's almost $1,000 cheaper. I'm like, yeah, I'll just drive to LA, park my car. Like, I don't care. In fact, I hope somebody does steal my car.
Careful what you wish for.
I know, right? Knock on wood.
Joel says, It's sad what happened to Jacob. The film came out, seriously never saw a bad performance. There were some very subtle things that both Jake did. Hated it. It tied those two performances. Now he's done. Definitely don't want to bring the stream. You're not... Joel, this is a normal stream, right? Like, you're going to be the only person who's going to talk about Star Wars. It's fine, right? It's not like Jason's Star Wars streams where everyone's psychotic. So it's all good. We can talk. I could just be like, yeah, I just, I hear you, I just don't agree with it, and it's fine. Like, it's perfectly cool, dude. But on those streams, it's like, Rob's the worst. Why is he here? He's like, all right, guys, all right.
I know, but I only say that once in a while.
Yeah, I know. Brandon has to go on there and defend Shadows of the Empire.
What is Shadows of the Empire?
Remember that video game on Nintendo 64?
I think so.
You had it, Brandon. You had a Nintendo 64, right?
Yeah.
Then you had Shadows of the Empire.
Probably. I know I had the pod racer game.
Yeah, this is before the pod racing. First time you could fly against the AT-ATs in the snow and stuff.
Probably.
Yeah.
Let me look at it. What was the name of it again?
Shadows of the Empire. It was like the movie without a movie. It was supposed to take place in between Empire and Jedi until it happened. And the story was pretty lame, dude. But you got a good game out of it,
Oh yeah, I had this game.
Of course you had. Brent, I told you had the game. I worked at a toy store that Christmas. You had the game. Mandika says, Rob, you know about Smiling Friends? No, I do not. No, I do not. What's Smiling Friends? You ever heard of Smiling Friends, Brandon?
No, but dare I ask?
Yeah, I mean, look, when it comes to Star Wars, I just told you, Lucas made a colossal mistake making Anakin Skywalker 9 years old. No one could relate to that. It didn't help the story. It made things woefully uncomfortable watching a 9-year-old sort of hit on a 16-year-old girl and vice versa. He should have been James Dean. He should have been Rebel Without a Cause. Anakin Skywalker should have been Han Solo in those films from the beginning. And Hayden Christensen is great in that movie Life as a House. If you've never seen it came out before Attack of the Clones. It's quite good. But Lucas can't really work or direct with actors. He just can't. If you don't believe me, go see a movie called Jackie Brown featuring Samuel L. Jackson. And then go watch The Phantom Menace, the movie he did directly after that film, and tell me which one's a real performance, So, like, it's just, it's like Lucas just didn't know what to do. What's really weird is Hayden and Natalie Portman were dating. So you'd think they'd have on-screen chemistry, but she's never had chemistry with anybody she's been on screen with. Right, Brandon? Even Hemsworth.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think that's her specialty as an actor, Which is fine. Not every actor has great chemistry. I love Steve Guttenberg. Steve Guttenberg didn't have any chemistry with any woman on screen. Like, it was always uncomfortable. Whether it was Sharon Stone, Kim Cattrall, or who was in maybe Ali Sheedy in Short Circuit might be the closest I ever felt to it. But then again, I always thought Ali Sheedy and the robot were going to get together in that movie more than Steve Guttenberg. So you got me there. This is an Adult Swim cartoon that I should definitely check out. 2D, but it's also got some mixed media thrown. Yeah, I'll check it out. Smiling Friends. Sounds cool. I love avant-garde animation and stuff, Brandon. Like Liquid TV stuff. Have you seen Primal yet, Brandon?
I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes, I think.
Primal's great, right?
Yeah.
Did you like it? Did you not like it? I liked it.
Oh, no, I liked it. It's one of those things where I started watching it, I think, on HBO Max, and then I think it was HBO Max, and then, then life happened, and I didn't have HBO Max.
Oh, that's right. You lost all your TV and stuff.
Yeah, so all my streaming came to an end, and now I can probably get it back. So it's on my list. I have a lot of shows on my list that I have to catch up on that I didn't get to finish.
Working with children actors is incredibly difficult. Like, very few people can really pull off a performance from a kid. That's why Goonies is sort of unparalleled. Like, Dick Donner managed to pull off some great performances with those kids, but the subsequent knockoff films, even Monster Squad is, you know, I mean, Monster Squad's fairly good in the performances, but it's still not the same as Goonies. Like, they're kids acting. No. But you watch like movies like The Wizard, it's not good, man. Those aren't good performances. You know, like maybe one kid actor you can pull off, like in Big with his best friend, you know. But then what happened to that kid afterward? Where'd the kid from Big go after Big? Where'd he go? Nowhere. So like, it's just nobody was all Lucas had to do was give people what they expected to see in the visually, but then surprise them with the intrigue and the performances and all that stuff and the turns, and like just didn't do it. It's like, who says, hey man, I'm going to set these films during the Clone Wars, but the Clone Wars are going to occur off screen. The first movie, no Clone War. The second movie, it's just going to start, and then the Clone Wars occurs off screen in between 2 and 3. Nobody would plan that. It's not a good move. It's a bad idea. It was a bad idea then, and you know, they spent the last 20 years trying to show you all these other things related to make you feel like it was something, but it doesn't really matter. It should have been in the films. You know, It's like saying, hey, Lord of the Rings will show you all the battles in a cartoon series after the movies come out and they take place in between the events. Like, it wouldn't make any sense.
Right.
You know, it's not why people go to the Star Wars, you know. Just like, all right, man, you know. And that's just the way the mass public felt about it then, and it's the way they feel about it now. Can't wait to see what The Phantom Menace does at the theaters in a month. Can't wait, because I was there for the 3D re-release, and we did all the licensed apparel. And you want to know what happened, Brandon? Nothing. Like, we took a large bath on that Phantom Menace merch, and I want to see what it does. I'm curious. My buddies still work on the licensed stuff, so I'm gonna get the actual info, like what that merch does. Because if they're really nostalgic, they're gonna buy it. Like X-Men '97 merch is selling left and right. That's the real nostalgia manifesting itself at the cash register, the thing that really pays for all this stuff. I mean, Star Wars was always paid for by the toys. That's it. That's how The Empire Strikes Back got made. That's how Return of the Jedi got made. It was the toys, the merch. So we're gonna see what the merch does in the Phantom Menace. I'm predicting not much. So it's not what I want. That's what I just think will happen. You know, I love the making of the Phantom Menace. I can watch that all day, every day, Brandon. I own all the Photo Archives books. I leave it on often when I'm working. It's fascinating to watch. But learn from those mistakes. Do not repeat them. My advice to any artist. Mandika says, Joel says, could I ask you one more thing about the prequels? You've discussed Lucas's documentary filmmaking roots. He brought that to the prequels as well. Those zoom shots with the battles coming out of Clone Wars. Yeah, he does a few Vietnam shots, and I've said that the fully animated battle sequences in Attack of the Clones is the best part about that movie. When but how they arrive, like they just appear above them in the arena, that's a stretch too far. Even for like A New Hope logic, it doesn't make any sense. Sure, that no one in that arena knows all the Star Destroyers appear with all that. Come on, guys. And then the actual boots on the ground physical footage that they shot, like when they're in the arena fighting like gladiator style, is laughable. It's just laughable. So it's cartoonish, you know. We were all expecting Braveheart battles, and you got like Warriors of Virtue battles, essentially. You know, if you ever saw Warriors of Virtue, Brandon, I did. So I'm aware. Joel, you don't have to convince me because you already got the film you like. All right. And it went down the way it went down. So, you know, I'm talking about, you know, I would like an actual, you know, everyone. Look, up until Return of the Jedi, there was a mass consensus of people loving those films. I don't care what, you know, you get to Return of the Jedi and you're like, oh, teddy bears. You could excuse it, but you can't really excuse, right? Here's what you can't excuse. You can wrap your head around murder bears and tell you it was better than it was. And okay, I get it. I can't get my head around, and I've said this from the beginning. I'm going to say it till the very end of my life. Chewbacca does a Tarzan yell. Tarzans in Star Wars?
Right.
Come on. Can't be doing Tarzan yells in Star Wars, man. No. Have fun, don't make fun. That's making fun. It's a stretch too far. That's like Batman Forever has a lot of goofy stuff, but it plays itself serious for what world it's trying to be in. They really exist in that world, and it's a little campy, and yeah, it's got some over-the-top performances from Tommy Lee Jones, but, you know, Batman's actually fighting people, you know, gunfire is actually being, you know, gunfire's gunfire, right? People are getting murdered left and right, you know, by the bad guys. You know, it's all fairly straightforward in a sort of campy way, but still played straight. You get to Batman and Robin, they're making cartoon sounds when they jump, like zip, zip, you know, like I mean, they just do the bam and the pows while you're at it, you know, just go for that. Don't go halfway, you know. There's a reason why they just haven't resonated with the mass public, and you can say you love it. Well, you got those films, man. They're for you. But there's a reason why they didn't resonate, and they continue to not with the mass public. So, and I've had to work on selling that stuff to you fans. If the fans were really out there, they would have bought it. I've made every version of cool prequel thing you could do, man. Like, we at one point, Brandon, we got barred from putting the Revenge of the Sith Wookiees on shirts because they look weird. And they do. They look weird. They don't look like Chewbacca. They look weird. Have you ever seen the Wookiees in Revenge? The masks, the mold, all the puppetry in the prequels is so weird. Yoda's puppet was so bad, he deleted the puppet and put in a CGI Yoda because it looks so weird. Like, I don't know what was going on with that. I couldn't, you know, I wish I had more answers. But, you know, other than that, I could say it just wasn't a priority. That's basically what it comes down to. Things get done right when they're a priority. The pod race itself, the visualness, the pacing of it, all that stuff was a giant priority for Lucas. That's why it looks so great. Right? The puppets in it are not a priority. For him, it was the CGI bad guy, Sebulba. All the puppet stuff, not so much. The Jabba the Hutt was probably a priority, a CGI Jabba. Anything with a physical puppet was not a priority for Lucas. And you're like, well, that's what filled in the blanks. So, but you got what you got, man. Like, it's there. It's been there. 25 years as of this year, right? Like, no one's gonna take it away from you, but yeah. What movie do I really like? People can't stand. I mean, I like Speed Racer. You know, I got a lot of people that can't stand that movie. So, you know, I stand by. I think Speed Racer is quite good, but I get why people don't like it, and I understand why it didn't work for the mass public. I get it, you know, but I do enjoy it. Even though I think Emil Hirsch, the guy who plays Speed, is like probably the worst part of the movie. It's like they got the wrong guy for that role. He just I don't know.
He was good in Dogtown.
He's anybody. He's nobody. He's anybody and nobody to me. Like, I guess it's a less eccentric Ezra Miller, that guy, right? Like, is that what we're talking? Like, I think that film would have worked if they had found Joseph Gordon-Levitt at the time. You know what I mean? It would have played a little better. If they were going for that kind of straight man kind of, but he can do comedy too, so that's not entirely true. But Emil Hirsch is probably the weakest part of that film. But John Goodman's great. The little fat kid's great. The monkey, Tina Ricci, Susan Sarandon, even Matthew Fox is super likable in that movie. So, but I'm not gonna sit here and tell you they should keep making more of it. That's the way to do a live action anime adaptation. No, I don't think you should ever do a live action anime adaptation. That's my takeaway from it. Just leave it to animation, because so much of it is animation in that movie anyway. Like, I just don't think those designs should, you know, they're a property of animation. Like, make an animated film. You know, hopefully with as well as Spider-Verse did, we'll see more push, you know, into that sort of thing. But I don't know. Mandika says that movie was so ahead of its time. Yeah, but I don't think that's ever happening again, and I don't think you can kind of replicate it. I think it's like lightning in a bottle, that one. Especially in IMAX. I saw it in IMAX. You had to see it huge. The color. It's crazy. But, you know. Where are we at?
I think it's bedtime.
It is bedtime, folks. No, Joel, you don't ever apologize, dude. Do not ever apologize. And it's great to disagree. I have no problems with disagreeing. What I have a problem with is when we're on the main show and everyone just goes after me and goes, "You're a loser. We hate you." And I'm like, well, then I know I've made it, because you haven't really made some Star Wars until everyone hates you, right? Like that's that is the eternal legacy, right? There you go. All right, thanks for hanging out, Joel. It's all good, man. And Mandikas, thank you for hanging out. And everyone else in the chats, let me see, we can go Avi Rocks, thank you, Jedi B, all the lurkers, super appreciate it. I'll be back on tomorrow, probably around 2:30 MDT till 6 o'clock MDT. So we're gonna get a good 3 to 4 hour block in while I work tomorrow. You all have a good night.
Thanks.
Brandon, you want to pimp your Mighty? You know what? I already put a link in the YouTube description. It's the Mighty James
Hey,
on
everybody,
Instagram.
go follow me on Instagram at Mighty James Art. I love you all and I appreciate it. And you give me a like, I'll give you a like back.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works.
I love showing love to fellow artists.
All right, everybody. I'm gonna roll. Peace.
Bye bye.
Show's over.